Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. It's stayfhomekins.
The Pandemical Podcast.
The Pandemical Podcast.
Brought to you by...
Usual Wines.
Yes, thank you, Usual Wines.
Thank you once again, Usual Wines. Yes, a delicious wine.
They may be usual, but they're not typical.
There's nothing suspect about Usual Wines.
You know what? I think you just cracked it.
I think so.
I'm Janie Tompkins.
I'm Paul F. Tompkins.
I'm an actress.
I'm a comedian.
And we are a married couple.
And we are quarantined just like you, except we have recording equipment.
And we're together.
Yeah. We're a married couple, which makes us be together a lot.
Yeah, in fact, we're stuck.
Well, look, if you're not married, and maybe you don't understand this, but there's a minimum amount of togetherness that you are required to fulfill.
I have a lot to say about marriage.
I'll bet you do.
And I know that's not going to be the topic of conversation tonight, or maybe it is. I don't know. However, if anyone ever wants to talk about marriage, I'm very open to it.
Did you see that thing that I tweeted last night? I tweeted it before I went to bed. It was a video with two cats.
No.
These are famous cats, Maru and Hana.
I remember
You
Maru.
remember Maru? Yeah, Maru has a friend now.
Remember that Thanksgiving? Where we spent a lot of time going down the Maru.
That was our was that the Thanksgiving we were alone?
Back in Los Feliz.
Yeah.
We weren't alone. We were with like Aaron and Krista or something.
Okay. So then it wasn't the one where we were alone.
What was when were we alone?
Well, I'll tell you.
Oh God.
We had one Thanksgiving where it was just the two of us. It was only you and me.
I need more information.
I don't know what more information I could give you for that to ring a bell. How many Thanksgivings have you spent with just me?
I would say 0, but somehow you're saying 1.
We spent one. We had Thanksgiving dinner by ourselves in our old apartment.
I can't.
I hope people heard that dog bark in the background for that dramatic pause.
I'm like stunned right now, but I'm thinking it was the same Thanksgiving in a weird way, because was that the Thanksgiving where we drove to the West Side to see a movie with Andrew and Margaret, and then Aaron and Krista came over later?
I can't remember if that was the same.
We saw An Education, remember?
That's the movie we saw.
Yeah, we saw.
It was very strange. We all lived.
Strange that we went to the West Side.
Yes, we lived in Los Feliz and Hollywood, 4 of us. And then 2 of us lived right next door to the movie theater.
Yeah, that's back when we got pushed around a little bit and
pushed around.
We didn't like.
Before we stood up for ourselves.
Yeah, we were like, we don't cross La Brea, babies.
I wonder how many cities have that sort of thing.
I bet a lot of cities.
People have that in New York too, of
Yeah.
course. But yeah, I'm interested in knowing like. Who has a thing like that?
People have it like in New York in the boroughs, right? Like it's sort of like, I don't. Oh no, they have it in New York. Like I don't.
Manhattan too,
I don't go above 14th Street.
Yeah,
babies.
And they always say babies.
Babies.
Well, it's always babies that are inviting them.
Babies. So, are you saying there was a Thanksgiving where we didn't interact with any other people but one another?
I don't remember if we ever did over the entire day, but we had a Thanksgiving dinner by ourselves. It was just us. And then I remember, I think, if memory serves, we watched a Jurassic Park movie. I can't remember if it was the first one or the third one, but we watched a Jurassic Park movie after dinner. And
Sounds like a fever dream.
It wasn't a Jurassic Park. It was some like blockbustery thing, but we were kind of enjoying it. We were kind of enjoying it just being the two of us.
We were drunk.
Look, maybe we were. Who knows?
I enjoy being with you and have been.
That sounds natural.
I've been doing it for 6 months.
I like spending time with you.
Guys, here's the thing.
Wait, so remember the video?
The Maru and her friend?
And
his friend?
Maru's friend.
Okay.
Hannah, maybe it's one N.
I like Hannah.
I like Hannah too. It was a video of them where Hannah is just sitting in a very small box, looking bored and angry.
Sure.
And Maru is
I can
trying to get comfortable in this plastic tub that's, of course, too small for him as well. And he's like writhing around while the other one just sits there and stares.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it was a funny video, and I tweeted it with the caption, when my single friends ask me what marriage is like, I show them this video and say it's a lot of this. And I didn't mean anything.
Like, you were just kind of being like surreal.
Yeah,
kind of. You're like, I love this video, and I want to like a relatable, funny caption.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
I kind of wanted something that seemed like a relatable caption,
Yes.
but wasn't really.
Yes.
I woke up and it had tens of thousands of likes.
What?
And people.
Wait, you went viral today, and this is the first time hearing
and
of it?
people tagging each other like, right? This is it. And I'm like, I don't know what I meant.
Oh, my God.
It made a connection with people that I did not intend, and now I don't understand my own
Because
tweets.
I think marriage is so indescribable. And it's not a monolith.
Honey, that's very true.
What is a monolith? A monolith?
That's it. That's the only thing.
Is it the opening of like space? What is
Yes,
it? 2001
Space Odyssey. Yeah.
So the only thing that is a monolith is the prelude, the prologue to 2001.
No, well, they didn't invent the word or the concept of monoliths.
I'm saying, but nothing is a monolith.
Only a monolith
in
is a
2020.
monolith. In 2020? Guess what? Maybe many things were monoliths back in 2001, A Space Odyssey, but now it's 2020, no Space Odyssey at all, and things are not monoliths except monoliths.
But also, like, if you got really down in the nitty gritty, like, even a monolith is probably not a monolith because
it's made up of many different
that's what
things.
I'm saying.
Sure.
Like, you go like atomically, like you go molecularly to its existence.
I mean, that's pretty deep.
And it can't even exist within itself as a monolith.
Yeah.
So a monolith is mythical. It's a myth.
That's right.
Unless
that's why
there is a monolith.
When like with voting, people say black people are not a monolith. It's because black people are not mythical. They're real.
That's true.
They're not fantastical creatures.
I'm not a witch.
And where to
I'm
find
you.
them? I'm you.
Where it's a callback from a previous episode. Which, by the way, when we said that in our previous episode, people sent the best, like, YouTube. There was like a song mashup of "I'm Not a Witch." I think I put it on the Twitter feed.
Oh, I hope so.
But it's a little bit of an earworm. Earworm? Earworm?
It's an earworm.
It's an earworm.
It's a little bit of an
This
earworm.
is a little baby earworm.
Oh, hi, earworm. I love you.
It's an earworm. It's "I'm not a witch. I'm you." Do I owe somebody?
All day.
I'm like obsessed with it.
It's
I'm
very
not
catchy.
a witch. I'm you. Oh, we did not harmonize
No,
well.
we didn't.
Shit. That's what marriage is, guys. Sometimes blood harmony can't exist in marriage. I mean, unless you're from West Virginia, which I am, so I can make that joke.
Wait, blood harmony is only a West Virginia thing?
No, but incest is.
But
Incest is not
I didn't
only.
even take it as
It's
an
not
incest thing.
only a West Virginia thing. It's like I'm marrying my cousin over in the other holler. She's down in the next door holler, and we got hitched.
why don't the QAnon people care more about incest?
Maybe because.
Do you think they're going to go after that next?
I think because incest is like, it's my choice. Whereas, like, wait, how come you can talk about
body, my choice?
You can talk about QAnon. Can I talk about QAnon?
You're the one that broke the seal.
But
You know that you can talk about whatever you want, and that
No,
I
I
just get
don't.
nervous. What? Who is going to
This
stop
is
you?
2020, and the First
Okay,
Amendment
Barbara Walters
is on the damn line. Okay,
in this house.
in this house, in this town,
In this house,
In
the
this-
First Amendment is on the line.
It's on the damn
we
line.
believe love is love.
it's on the damn line.
That's right.
Yeah, we believe Black Lives Matter, love is love. All what is that sign that people have on their yard?
Gas, grass, or ass. No one rides free. No one to
don't-
hold them and no one to fold them.
I'm just saying the First Amendment is on the damn line, and
Your accent is changing.
well, okay. To be fair, I guess I can share this with the
TBF.
Stay-F-Homers, the SFHers. So I was doing a little dialect research this afternoon because I have an audition I have to record, like for voices. And for voices?
I have these
By the way,
voices. They seem to be located centrally in my head. They're telling me to do auditions.
To do a dialect. Just do a dialect. And it is calling for a New Orleans accent. And so I've been doing some research, and here's what I've come up with. I won't be able to do it. I will be coming up with a very bastardized situation with it. But that is some crazy, like, and also, by the way, trying to like drill down on the regions, like uptown versus downtown versus Bayou versus Cajun versus Creole versus Yat, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, so which is it the one I'm supposed to zero in on for this character anyway? And also, guess what? It's not going to matter because Amy Poehler will probably be offered the role and get to do whatever she wants.
I think it would be good if ever they're asking for a specific accent like that, not like New York, but if they're asking for a very specific accent like that, I think they should have a reference,
a sample.
Yeah.
Well. But then the breakdown was like, or you don't have to. You can do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, come on, y'all. I mean.
They just didn't want it to be like a cartoony Louisiana accent.
I think that's right.
But then it's like, have you heard the Louisiana people talk?
I mean, they're like, I'm down on the bayou doing some
Every accent is
gumbo.
Cartoony. Every
accent is cartoony, but you have to imbue it with like, I guess, real emotion or real intention.
Oh, imbue. Pardon me all to hell.
Listen, it's a cartoon and I'm not going to get it. But, so anyway, so I was just going down the accent rabbit hole. So I've got myself a little loose tongued. That's what's happening. And also, it's 100 damn degrees in Los Angeles right now.
It's extremely hot.
Also, we had a leak in our sink 5 minutes before this happened.
Man, it's like stuff like that.
I thought Paul was gonna. I don't know. Like he was going to blow a gasket.
It was the timing of it was so bad. The timing of it was so bad. And all I was trying to do was wash a goddamn dish. And, we have, I know this is going to sound very bougie. We have one of those hoses.
Yeah, you pull it out and you
pull
spray.
it out. You can spray the sink. So all the crumbs and things.
Spray it down.
And so I was pulling it. It was not giving. And so I had to go into the sink. Now, here's what we like to do. We like to put 1,000 things in front of that apparatus.
We like to hoard.
We like to hoard bottles of cleaning solutions.
There's cleaning solutions down there. There's like backup sponges. There's like trash bags.
My high school yearbooks.
His signet ring.
So we
I don't know. It's all down there. And
so I have to pull all that stuff out, and then of course, we turn the sink on. It sprays right in my face.
Oh, like Paul was so fucking mad.
I'm cross-legged, and I'm doing. It's like I'm in a Laurel and Hardy movie where I'm trying to be calm while I'm just getting sprayed with water in the face and saying, "Would you please turn off the sink?" And so it's very difficult to get at it, and then now we just got to leave all the shit out until everything dries out. Anyway,
nothing was broken.
I came very close to saying, let's do the podcast tomorrow night.
What?
I know, what a scandal.
Are you what?
What a scandal. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was beat down by this day and by that event.
Yeah, but tomorrow night's going to be like 102 or something. It's not even,
well,
it's like
going to
be hotter.
That fucking sink then.
I was like, I was kind of calm because I was in the other room like hopping around on YouTube and like Paul was washing the dishes from the dinner and I was so happy, because he was like cleaning up and I was just like lounging and all of a sudden I hear like, fuck.
Don't reveal my secret reactions to household traumas. That's personal.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you do? What?
Rats! Darn it all!
And I was like, oh, do you need a hand? And I didn't want you to need a hand.
Of course. Who would? Of course not. I don't blame you.
But you needed a hand.
I did need a hand, yeah.
And so I rushed over. That's marriage. That's Maru and Hana.
That's what?
Maru and Hana.
I thought you said one word that I'd never heard
Maru
before.
and Hana.
I don't know that Maru and Hana are married. I don't want to, give people the impression that we know their lives.
That's fine too.
They don't have to be married.
You don't have to be married.
But it helps. You don't have to be married to do this podcast, but it helps.
Oh my God. Wait, that's our next merch opportunity.
Oh dear.
Oh my God, I kind of love it.
So
I love it.
We had an arrival today at our home.
Oh God.
This is something I've been thinking about for a long time. And then
God.
I finally found
I can't.
the perfect one that I've been looking for. And a big box arrived.
Huge.
Okay, pretty woman. Big box. Huge. And Janie said, "What is that?" And I said, "I'll show you later. It's a treat for me," I said.
You said it's a treat I bought for myself.
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh my God, can we eat it?" And then he was like, "What do you think you're going to eat that is this big?"
She thought I had bought a crate of ice cream.
I was like,
Is it Jenny's?
I was like, I thought it was Jenny's ice cream because I guess you can order Jenny's ice cream online and they'll deliver it in dry ice.
Yeah, we do not have that kind of money.
Well, I mean, it's worth whipping the credit card out for.
For a crate of ice cream.
I'm like dying for someone to like buy my pilot or hire me on a job because I'm so sending them a box of Jenny's because I'm like that is like that's like a showstopper gift.
Sure.
Like a box of Jenny's with like dry ice.
Especially if you have dairy issues. That'll stop the show.
You know what? I'll throw in one dairy free.
Nice.
In there.
Nice.
Like a coconut milk one.
There you go.
Okay, keep going.
So I go outside because this is an outside treat.
Yeah, he drags it outside in the heat.
In the heat. It's hot out there today.
It's fucking hot.
So I open it up and then I put it in place in our little postage stamp backyard. I can see it from where I am.
Oh my God.
And Janie comes to the window. And Janie, what did you see?
Well, first of all, I couldn't catch my breath.
That's a little dramatic.
Is it though?
Couldn't catch your breath.
I was just seized in my tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I was stunned into silence.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was unsure of what I was seeing because it was so incongruous.
Right. That's right.
And so I had to allow the image to wash over me and absorb into a perceived reality.
Wow.
And then once I got my bearings.
You act like you went through the Matrix.
I started laughing so hard I was silently laughing and shaking, especially because Paul was all he wanted was like my reaction to it. Like
yes,
he was standing
there.
Excited. He like wanted to see this.
You were frankly a little ahead of schedule, but that's okay.
Because I was lifting the shades of the window at that time. Like
yes.
I was like, oh, it's finally like the sun has gone to the other side of the whatever, and we can open. And so I opened it and I caught you in the act with it.
You caught me just as I finished placing it. The timing was perfect.
It's a giant outdoor turtle sculpture.
To be more specific, it is a tortoise.
It's a giant outdoor tortoise.
It is a very realistic looking, very lifelike tortoise statue.
I'd call it a sculpture even because it has such like dimensionality and detail.
You're very heady tonight.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm supposed to stay stupid.
Oh. Stay stupid.
That's
the note I give you before we start every
I'm
recording.
supposed to say dumb as a fucking rock.
Remember, stay stupid.
Stay safe, stay sane, and stay stupid.
What if we ended right now?
They might think that I have am having a lack of oxygen issue.
You did say you had to catch your breath when you saw
I had to catch my breath. I was arrested in my tracks. And I came out. By the way, Paul is lovingly staring at it through the sliver of the window that he has. I want to take
a picture of it as it is now.
And I was like, okay, this is our new friend. Right. This person, this thing is living with us. And we're going to, first I made you put him on the bench, but he didn't work on the bench.
Yeah, we tried out a few places.
I didn't want him on the grass. We didn't need to keep the grass free for the grass cutting on Tuesdays.
Well, no. It's not a headstone. It's very easily moved.
Oh, it's not?
Although that's a good idea for my gravestone.
Oh, that our friend Steve was like, can you hide keys in it? I'm like, no. It's just a thing.
He's airtight, baby.
By the way, not a good thing to hide keys in because it's the most conspicuous item.
Absolutely. If you were looking to break in the house, you would go over to that tortoise.
You would shake it.
You'd be like, there's got to be a key in here.
You'd shake it like a Polaroid picture. Oh, God, that song. Don't get me started on that year.
It's a great song.
That year was not...
That year was...
I don't remember things.
Had its ups and downs, but that was a great song. It was a song of the summer that year.
Was it 2006?
Don't remember. That sounds about right. So I'm very happy because I'm a big turtle fan, a big tortoise fan.
Big menagerie. You like your menagerie.
What are you? First of all,
you like your menagerie.
Who says menagerie?
Tennessee Williams.
It's not menagerie.
Menagerie.
Yeah.
The glass menagerie.
Don't talk to me like you're a British person making fun of Americans. Menagerie.
I want to work in British television, and that's how.
Barbara, come look at the menagerie. I've always known that word as menagerie, not menagerie.
Menagerie. Isn't it French?
I would.
Frenchy French?
I believe it's derived from French.
Le menagerie. How's that? Le menagerie. Le menagerie.
It's making me miss the bureau.
I know. We'll get into that in a minute. We have one more episode, guys, of the bureau. Anyway, I know. Paul has his little animals he collects. His little outdoor animals.
Well, what do I have? I have the tortoise.
You have an owl.
Out front?
Yeah.
Yes.
You have the owl. You have the tortoise.
There's a little tiny owl that's a solar-powered owl that lights up, so you can't see him until it's night.
Then you have the crow.
Yes, there's a crow that's there to keep away the smaller birds so they don't make noise. But, we still get small birds in the backyard, but I feel like they don't make as much noise as they used to.
They're the quiet ones.
Yeah.
We get that hummingbird around that purple flower every day.
Oh, the hummingbird.
Then at Halloween, he's got a skeleton collection.
Oh, man. He's
got a skeleton collection.
Yes. I'm very excited about. I love decorating the house for Halloween
and Christmas. Let's not forget.
Yes. The two decorational holidays.
That's true.
I don't like doing 4th of July. Some people do that. I guess that's more the outside of the house. You put up bunting and shit like that.
I'm down. I'm fine with it.
It feels weird now.
Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever F's your B. But I do put out. We put out a human skeleton, and then I got him a cat skeleton. Then our neighbor, Julie, brought us a little tiny frog skeleton.
The frog one.
I had to get a turtle skeleton after that.
So you got the turtle skeleton.
And then we have a bird skeleton in a cage.
In a cage.
Yeah.
In a cage.
Yeah.
That's a menagerie.
I know why.
In and of itself.
That cage bird doesn't sing.
Because it's dead.
It's dead. It's a
skeleton.
It's
a doornail. It's damn dead. It is damn dead.
Yeah.
So, that was today. So, I'm surprised that you would postpone Stay of Homekins because it sounds like it was a wonderful day.
Well, of course, in retrospect, we got past the kitchen sink issue, and it seems to be fixed, and
it was just a loose...
Now here we are. We're doing it. And
it was just a loose nut, y'all. It was just a loose
nut, y'all.
A loose nut.
Y'all, some of the nuts going to get loose under that sink tonight.
See, how could you postpone this? This is your time.
I didn't.
You're a star.
Why are you yelling at me for a thing I thought about doing?
I'm just reminding you. I'm just giving you a reference point of joy.
Thank you. Oh, honey.
If you don't have
a reference point of joy,
you're cuckoo.
Now, is she going to stay in or is she going to...
That bitch has been staying the fuck out.
Lately, Cuckoo... No, I don't want her to hear this. Lately, Cuckoo has been coming out, doing her cuckoo business, and then just staying there outside of the clock, and it's very unsettling.
Yeah, and she needs to go back in because...
What is she going to do? Oh, she stayed out!
I don't like it.
I'm gonna make a video.
I don't like it.
Can see.
A video? Nothing's happening in it.
But the pendulum is swinging.
Oh, okay.
So people know.
It's like a boomerang. It's an organic boomerang.
All right.
It was so dark.
So dark.
Well, I hope everyone out there is taking care of themselves. I think this is such a slog, like getting through this pandemic.
I thought you meant this episode.
You don't have
I'm
to.
back, guys.
You don't have to be married to do this podcast, but it helps.
Listen, speaking of slogs, we have to take a break.
Is it time already?
It is time already. Isn't that fun?
That's not what that says.
How do you... Okay, so what time do you think it's supposed to be?
0, when that gets to 0. No?
That's when the show's over, honey.
I thought you broke it into acts.
I did break it into acts, but it changes colors.
Y'all,
we have
to take a break.
This is a little behind the scenes. Starts the numbers start off green, then they go to yellow, then they go to red. So we're going to take a break.
That's great.
We're going to take a break, everybody.
Pour your weekend water. Get some usual wines.
And please enjoy this word from our sponsors.
Hi, stay-at-homers. Have you tried Usual Wines yet? It is your perfect choice for weekend water. Each bottle is 6.3 ounces, which is a heavy pour or about a glass and a half of wine. They're low carb and have 0 grams of sugar. But wait, don't grapes have sugar? Yes! But to clarify, all Usual Wines are produced using natural, sustainable grapes harvested every fall. These grapes are picked at optimal ripeness to ensure all sugar will be fermented completely until the wines are dry with no residual sugar. So yeah, the wines are clean. This ensures the wines are as dry as possible and lower in calories. Check out their website at www.usualwines.com and use our discount code stayfhomekins for $8 off your first order. Also, the bottles they come in are totally cool and mod looking, and you'll want to save them to put flowers in. So try your first glass on us. Okay, now it's recording.
Now it's recording.
Not loving the battery amount we have.
Uh-oh.
So I'll just keep an eye on that.
Thank you.
Hopefully we have backup batteries.
We should change it after this episode. Look, guys, this is a little fun.
Guess what?
Peek behind the curtain.
We're not doing good on this episode because we're talking about all this, like, you know, how the sausage gets made.
Hey, man. Is that the girls?
As the girls are out on the porch. Oh, we have these little girls that live down the street.
In our neighborhood, there's these twin little girls. They're the cutest.
Identical twins.
Like
toddler girls.
They're so
They're
cute.
kind of little girls now.
They're little girls now,
Yeah.
but they've been, for as long as we've lived here, they go out for walks with their grandfather, sometimes their grandmother. And for whatever reason, since they could walk, they are obsessed with our house.
Yeah, they run up to our door and, like, hang out on the little stoop.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know,
they touch everything that's
they're
on
doing
the
like
porch.
their twin babble.
Yeah. And we don't know why, but we'll hear them. What?
Suddenly the battery just became more full.
Oh, nice.
I didn't do anything to it. Yeah, but they're so cute. Uh-oh. Bless you, honey.
Thank you, honey.
Bless you, honey.
Do people, have we talked about the bless you?
Can I explain it or do you want to explain it? You explain
Let me explain it.
Okay.
I don't know when this started, but it goes back. It predates our marriage. I think we've been doing this for a really long time.
I think you're right.
If someone sneezes and the other person does not say bless you, the person who sneezed will then stare at the person who did not say bless you.
Like freeze everything. Like stop everything.
Everything stops.
Everything stops.
And you have to have an outraged look.
Yeah, you have to be like, what the fuck?
You have to have an outraged look on your face.
But we are so committed to it, and like now
It's funny every time though.
But like if Paul like sneezes in the other room, I will text message him. Yeah.
You got to stay on it.
Like even if I'm like reading a book, I'll put the book down, find where my phone landed, and be like, "Bless you."
I'll do it too. You got to stay on it. Well, so the little girls, I feel like they went away for a while. They weren't doing it for a while. We didn't.
And they have like matching everything. Like they have
always
matching little scooters and matching little bicycles with Benny in the seat and like yeah. They're just like
they're adorable. They look like a drawing of cute little girls.
Yeah, they're very really cute.
But we hear them outside, and they stay there forever.
And you know what? I'm scared one day I'm going to open the door, and it's going to be like the Shining Twins.
I'm scared that someday I'm going to open it up, and they'll be grown up.
They will
I'll be an old man.
But guess what? That is going to happen.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Oh, my God. Y'all. Okay, so I was doing, like, weird research for another project I was working on that like I can't even, it didn't happen. It was a sad situation, but for whatever reason I was like, oh, this like Harry Chapin song, A Better Place to Be, like I need to listen to the song. I was like, this is like the song blah blah blah. And Paul, I was like, you know that song, right, Paul, about like
which I have to say, I think you've asked me that about every Harry Chapin song that's not Taxi.
Well, you only know Cats in the Cradle, I thought.
Oh yeah, I know Cats in the Cradle. I know the Taxi Driver one.
So I was like, you know that song about the like, you know, the fat waitress or whatever. And Paul's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, you know, like he's like the little man and the fat waitress. And now I'm like saying it out loud, and it sounds insane. Like it sounds like
it does sound like a dream.
Like it can't be real. And I was like, okay, here's the song. And I'm like, it's going to move you. Just because, like, I think Harry...
Which you've also said about every
Harry Chapin song. Because I think what happened was you were introduced to Harry Chapin as, like, you know who Harry Chapin is, right? Like, not like it was a part of your sort of fabric of discovering music.
No, I mean, yes and no, like... There were certain songs like that. Like there were people like Harry Chapin, Jim Croce, Cat Stevens that were in the background of my growing up because I was born in '68, and so in the '70s when I was a kid, my older sisters, my older cousins were listening to stuff like that, and it was also just like on the radio. And so I was aware of the hits that those people had, but I would not be aware of a lot of album cuts necessarily.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to play the song for you. So I start playing it. Your first reaction was, you said it sounded like something else.
Well, as the song goes on, he's describing the little man coming into the bar.
Yeah.
And the fat waitress and all that. And I was like, this is Piano Man without the piano man.
You said Piano Man without the piano. That's what you said.
I said without the piano man.
Oh, I thought you said without. I said this, you go, this is just Piano Man without the piano. But you were saying without the piano man?
The piano man, yeah.
Okay.
Because he's the piano man is the one telling the story.
But the person telling the story in this song is not.
He's a customer. Isn't he?
Yeah, he's a customer, but like, yeah, he's the one.
The fat waitress put the move on him.
He's the one. No,
and he's like, "Sorry, fatso."
So no, what happens in the song is he's just a nobody.
Yeah,
he's like a nobody.
He's not even the little man.
He's like he works like security at the Tool and Die or whatever.
Oh my God.
at the whatever Tool and Die. I like know the song so well. It's so funny because I was like, and then in this part it's gonna happen. Da da da. So he's just like this nobody, and he encounters the most beautiful woman in like the world who is like sad.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like so in love with her, and they have this night together, and he becomes a somebody like in that with this woman
because he fucked a pretty lady.
Because he fucked a pretty woman. Because he was like, I'm just like whatever. So then he goes out for bagels. goes out for bagels. Yo, this is a better story told than sung. So he's like riding high. He's like feeling himself.
I finally did it.
He's feeling himself, and he thinks now he has like this raison d'être and a menagerie.
Oh, you're ready for that Bayou cartoon. What your raison d'être?
What's your raison d'être in your menagerie? And give me some gumbo. I need some gumbo and some crawfish boil. Give me some of that crawfish. Okay,
we'll cut this out and we'll make it your audition.
Then I might be blackballed from Hollywood because that is not going to get me anywhere. All right, so he goes out for bagels, feeling himself. Mm-hmm. I mean, feeling himself, like his body is alive.
Okay.
I'm adding that.
Yeah.
But he comes back and she fucking left.
Yeah.
And she left a note, and the note said, "It's time that I moved on." To fuck another.
So dramatic.
To fuck like another.
Can you imagine if you had a one-night stand with someone and they left a note saying, "It's time that I move on."
Yes.
Like, fuck you. Yes. Who do you think you are?
You know what? I would keep a stack of cards in my purse with calligraphy version of that.
Absolutely.
Just like ready to go.
Yeah.
As like part of my mystique.
Yeah.
And just leave them peppered around Hollywood. All right.
Okay.
So what happens is he goes into the bar to drown his sorrows.
No, is the bar where he met the attractive lady?
Oh, no. Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. No. But the fat waitress wants to know why he's so sad. Mm-hmm. So that's the story. Sorry, I messed up the telling of the story because the waitress wants to know why he's sad, and then he goes into it. Mm-hmm. And then and the waitress is so moved by his experience that she says to him that she wishes that she had that kind of a love.
Right.
Like that she wishes she weren't fat. Are you looking up the lyrics?
I'm looking at the lyrics. There's so many.
Is it like
here's
a novel?
The thing with these story songs.
I love story songs.
I love story songs too, but here's what I would say to Harry. Rest in peace, first of all. Not everything's a story, Harry. I don't know that this was a 10-minute song.
On that album, everything was a story.
I know. What I'm saying.
It was called Greatest Stories Live. All right, so wait, but here's what happened. So Paul's listening to this, and he's like rolling his eyes. I mean, his eyes are like rolling in the back of his head.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, what
Well, there were flashing lights, and I was having a grand mal seizure.
And then at one point in the song, the lyric is like, the waitress...
I'll tell you what it is. I'm right here. The waitress took her bar rag, and she wiped it across her eyes.
Because she's crying.
Yeah. And I said, that's disgusting.
Yeah, you said, that's disgusting. And I was like, and then I said, you told an entire story about drinking a dirty bar rag on live television.
It's very true.
He has like a whole comedy special about how a true story, like Harry Chabin, is like...
He never says these stories are true.
He said he went to Watertown, New York, and he does say...
That does sound bleak.
And Paul has this whole story where he's dared by his buddies to take the most disgusting, dirtiest bar rag and squeeze the nasty gray juice of it into his mouth.
Into a shot glass.
Oh, into the shot glass.
Please. We weren't savages. Into a shot glass.
And he fucking did it.
That's when I wore a younger man's clothes.
He fucking did it. Wait, is that Harry Chapin?
That's Piano Man.
Oh, Piano Man.
Sad
See,
and
there's too many
sweet, and I knew it complete.
There's too many storytelling songs. So anyway, so I'm playing him this song, and like Paul is just like, give me a goddamn. He was not moved.
Give me a goddamn break.
He was like, oh, Samantha from Second.
Took my cigarette holder out of my mouth.
And I was like, okay, I guess you're not going to be moved by this. Let me play you WOLD instead. Because honestly, like WOLD is good. Like that's a good one. You don't think that's like a middle? It's like a middle aged. It's like a guy who can't grapple with his age.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is like that's an awesome character.
And he works at a radio station called WOLD.
No, I think. Does he work at W? No, I think he's stuck at WOLD because he's old.
Okay.
Like WOLD is not the real station. WOLD is where he's landed.
It's a metaphor?
Yeah, it's a metaphor.
Okay.
It's a metaphor.
All right.
It's a metaphor.
Not a story then.
It's sort of like a poem.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. I don't know. Paul's like not enjoying things that I have been bringing to his.
We like different things. We like it. There are some things that we like together, and there are some things we like separately. That's just the way it is.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. The end.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it too. I think it's good.
I think tolerance is something that we should.
Yeah, we got to practice tolerance, and we practice it every day. Today, Janie, I'm not a big Madonna fan. I genuinely like one Madonna song.
By the way, he like covered a Madonna song on his show.
It's true. The one song that I like, Ray of Light.
Which was awesome, by the way.
Thank you, honey. I wasn't fishing, but I like what I caught. So I don't know what made you do this, but you were just looking around YouTube at various Madonna
I'll tell
live
you why.
performances.
Because I was on Twitter and this is so stupid, y'all. I was on YouTube. Because I was looking for Louisiana dialect videos.
Right, that's right.
And then I decided I wanted to take a break. And on Twitter, someone had tweeted, is Madonna just a terrible actress? Like they just like wondered it aloud.
That was a whole tweet?
Something like that. But because I follow Betty Buckley,
mm-hmm.
I ended up seeing the conversational thread because she said actually she was quite good in that first movie, Susan.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Damn, if Betty Buckley shuts you down in an acting thread.
Oh, she didn't actually it. She just said she was good in that.
I didn't say she actually it. I said she shut
but
that
I think
person down.
I think I actually didn't know.
You actually me.
And actually.
Then I actually do you right back.
So then like people were like talking about Madonna on the thread,
mm-hmm.
and then they were like in League of Their Own, and then people were like, actually, she's quite good with female directors, and then people were like, and if you consider her videos acting, she's incredibly like theatrical or something,
right,
right. Compelling or whatever they were saying. So because
terrible,
but because I've done this before, like I sometimes like will visit her oeuvre.
Mm-hmm.
Another friend. I'm very French tonight. Her oeuvre of musical videos.
Okay.
MTV.
How you say MTV?
Blue jeans. Levi's. And so I was like, I asked Paul. Who was
Do you want to watch 12 Madonna videos?
No, I said, "What's the best Madonna video?" And he was like,
I can't argue.
And I was like, "Okay." And then so I started like kind of like picking and choosing some,
mm-hmm.
and then the sync broke. Essentially, I was like finally relaxing. I've been on Zoom like all day long.
Yeah,
I had to be in like a health.
You were on Zoom all day long.
I had to be like on this crazy healthcare. Oh, by the way, like our healthcare is getting gutted. So thank you.
The
union.
SAG healthcare. The thing that you texted me, she was on the call and I was on a different call in my
Oh yeah, it was like on
office.
like a 3-hour Zoom, like learning about the healthcare.
And you texted me that someone had a SAG was trying to say, look, someone had a premature baby. And,
they were definitely saying it. They weren't even trying to say.
That baby cost us
$1 million.
$1 million. So that's why there's no money for
They basically said this. They were like, they started the presentation with like, here's why we'll never be able to cover your health care ever again. So, so put it out of your mind that you'll ever attain this again. Mm-hmm. And really, if I'm going to go micro, what's the big one?
Macro's big.
Okay, if I'm going to go macro.
Just think of it this way, like micro, and macro. That's a little mnemonic device.
Macro.
You'll never forget it. You'll never forget it.
So basically, like, here's the real bottom line that has nothing to do with anything. That for-profit healthcare is only for like 5 people. So that's like, there's no way to insure people. Like, there's just like no way. Like, it's a joke.
But I love the idea of all the people over the decades that have been paying into this system.
Yeah, we've been paying in.
And then it's like, this one premature baby wiped it all out.
Okay, so basically, then they're like, and then last year, we had a $1 million claim, with a premature baby. And it was so wonderful that we are able to offer this care for one person. And then they like said, and then we also had an organ transplant. And I'm like, first of all, I don't even think you're supposed to be talking about other people's health situations, because like,
and
what
it was
if
Betty Buckley who had an organ transplant?
Betty Buckley, she had the organ. No, so I don't understand. Like what if someone finds out like who the family was? That I just think that was like BS and manipulative.
Do you think Betty Buckley got that organ from Madonna, and that's why she was defending her?
I would take Madonna's organ. Maybe I could dance.
Oh, I would take Madonna's organ, honey.
I would take. Oh, honey. Oh, honey, if I could dance like in that Material Girl video.
But the long story short is
I've been on
that
Zooms all day.
SAG Health spent too much money on posters. Posters and buttons.
I'll tell you the real thing is that they didn't go like there's like separate entities, and the one entity that is supposed to negotiate money to make everything solvent, like they just didn't do it.
It's all fucked up.
They didn't do it.
They
didn't do it because they were like, guys, we got you guys like a $5 raise. We got background actors like filing to be called by their first names. Like no one can just be called number 17.
Is that real? Because it sounds real.
No, but it's sort of my real.
Yeah.
It's my real. and they're like, it's great news. And then next, like, then there's a separate entity that's like handling our healthcare fund.
Yeah.
That's like going bankrupt, like by the minute, like by the second, like $100,000 being spent here, $200,000 being spent on a mole removal, like whatever. And then no one's like, why does a mole removal cost $200,000?
Yeah, exactly.
In the first place?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's messed up.
Yes. Yeah.
So, guess that's my day. And then I was like sinking into some relaxation, watching some Madonna videos until the whole world came crashing down.
The sink brought us back to reality. In a way, the sink is a metaphor for our healthcare system. Okay. We should wrap her up. Do you have recommendations this week?
I feel weird about recommending this.
Mein Kampf.
But it's an illustrated version. So it's really, it's easy to swallow.
Beautiful illustration.
Scratch and sniff on the back.
Some pages are lenticular.
Don't get me started on lenticular.
I know you love lenticular,
I'm obsessed
baby.
with lenticular.
Come on.
I want lenticular. Okay, so I don't know. I know people probably listen to this podcast already, but like The Daily did this 2-part series on cancel culture, and I was like, I'm really liking these 2 episodes. Like they were speaking to me as a First Amendment absolutist, And I like tweeted about it, and everyone like started piling on, like, don't get me started. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, I didn't know. So now I'm like recommending this thing that like people had a reaction to. And then I encountered a friend this week.
I'm sorry, what happened? So you recommended this podcast and people said, oh, don't get me started on that, because they'd already heard it and they had a strong opinion about it.
Yes, and their opinion was like, why are they even talking about this? And then I think like Dave Holmes was like, I can't believe they brought up that Harper's letter. And by the way, it was like the first time I'd even heard of the Harper's letter.
Oh my God, the Harper's letter.
I didn't know about it.
So dumb. He can't believe they did bring it up or they didn't bring it up.
He couldn't believe that they framed the Harper's letter as something that people had a reaction to, because he felt like it was just like a dumb thing that.
That they framed it as something maybe valid.
No, they were framing it as a thing that came out and provoked. They're only framing anything journalistically. They're not framing anything with a particular opinion about anything.
Okay.
They're like examining something from a neutral standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And in all of the examples they were giving and sort of exploring this topic, like the origin of it, where does it go? What is, what's the latest? What's the height of it? What's the peak? What's the valley? Mm-hmm. Somehow the Harper's letter came up, and I didn't even know about the Harper's letter. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, what's this? And then and they're like talking about it, and as something that people had a very strong opinion about.
Yeah.
And I guess Dave Holmes was like saying, I mean, I don't get why like they were saying like people were mad about it, like who cares or something like that. However he said it in his tweet. I'm paraphrasing.
So they were talking about it as if it had more weight than it did. That seems to be Dave's point. I'm getting all of this secondhand.
They were talking about it as if it were this sort of
a
lightning.
Yeah,
they were talking about it like a lightning rod in the arena of cancel culture.
Right.
Because apparently, I guess it came out at a certain time during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That was like a bad time.
It was just dumb. I don't remember if the timing was even important. It was just like, it was a stupid. Anyway, so Dave, but I'm just trying to get to what it seems like Dave's point was, that it wasn't even worth mentioning. It wasn't the lightning rod that they were making it out to be. It was like a thing that came and went, and only on Twitter did people really discuss it.
Well, a lot of these episodes were sort of focused specifically on Twitter. A lot of the episodes anyway, because Twitter seems to be the origin of when someone gets canceled.
Yes,
that's
for the brief time that they are canceled.
Yes, and so I did respond to Dave, and I was like, oh, I'd never heard of it until the thing. I was just into the First Amendment stuff, and he didn't respond. So I didn't get to go deep on Dave Holmes's mindset about.
I'm not trying to say. I understand,
but I don't want to paint Dave Holmes as like having a certain opinion about the episodes of the Daily that I liked.
Yeah.
But then I ran into my friend, and then she brought it up, and she was like, "There's a 2-part series on cancel culture on the Daily this week that's really good, and I think you should do it," because we were talking about something else.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jessica, I am way ahead of you, girlfriend. Because I really thought it was a fascinating exploration of the topic. Mm-hmm. I think it is like worthy of investigation.
I think it's worth talking about. I think that it's the idea of people being canceled is overblown. Mm-hmm. And we don't have, this is the end of the show. We don't have time to get into.
I will say maybe the idea of being canceled, a lot of people who are canceled, it is overblown, but for some people it does have very real world consequences where they actually lose their job over something that may be disproportionately
yes, but we would, we just don't, it's too big a thing to get into right now.
Look, I'm not trying to compete with the Daily.
I know you're not. I'm just saying we're at the end of the show. That's all I'm saying.
What were your recommendations?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to recommend Dave Holmes' book, Party of One, which was a great book that I read. It came out a couple years ago. It's in paperback now, and it's a really terrific memoir. Unlike a lot of books that are written by entertainers. He actually wrote it himself, and it's really smart and thoughtful and touching and wonderful. It's a great book.
Dave Holmes, you just got renewed for another season. You're not canceled.
Dave Holmes, uncanceled.
Renewed for another.
Why don't we make that our thing, that we uncancel people?
I don't want to uncancel anyone because I don't care about anyone.
What about the people that lost their jobs?
Oh my God. You really gonna... You know what? And the other thing about it is they talk about how the current administration has weaponized cancel culture.
Well, of course. Yes.
So,
of course.
Good. Thank you for falling right into the hands. Just like falling right into the trap.
I would love it if Trump was like, give Kevin Spacey a break.
No, it has to be like someone like even less. Like so many times I open Twitter and like someone's canceled like I've never heard of. You know what I mean? I'm like, how can someone be canceled before you even knew that they were renewed?
Right? A question for the ages.
They were greenlit somewhere, but not in my
How
mind.
did this person get greenlit? All right. We got to wrap it up. Thank you for listening, everybody.
I mean, this was a journey.
This was a journey.
I need to go, like, take a cold shower.
Ooh la la.
The French have a name for that.
Le shower froid.
Le douche.
Le
Froid.
douche froid.
Le douche froid.
Le douche froid.
Menagerie.
What do you? You're Marlon Brando.
Oh my God, you should do Marlon Brando in Glass Menagerie. You can play Tom.
Oof, my goof. No one wants that.
Or you could play the gentleman caller.
Oh,
Actually,
now I'm interested.
You would be good as the gentleman. I would cast you as the gentleman caller.
Me as an actor.
As
I do not know
as
that play.
Marlon Brando.
Oh, okay. I would be good as Marlon Brando as the gentleman caller.
Paul F. Tompkins is Marlon Brando is the gentleman caller.
That's a funny idea to do. To do a production of a well-known play and be playing someone else playing that role.
No, you would be the gentleman. I would cast you, Paul Tompkins, as a gentleman caller. But I'm just saying, because of your audition that you just did just now, I would also
Thank you.
cast you as Marlon Brando as
right.
a gentleman caller.
Well, I can't wait for live theater to come back.
We could do it on Zoom.
Can I say something that I know I'm the one that keeps saying we got to wrap it up? But we had a great idea with the kids, with Natalie Walker and Nico Benson. We were talking about doing a production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf that's just a 4-person text thread.
Oh, my God.
We just each type out the line.
But I'm going to do, you know what? I'm playing Martha, obviously. Because I'm the elder.
Yes,
yes. Now you can play Honey. I'm going to do mine, but I only speak emoji in mine.
That's intriguing.
Yeah.
Should we also, what do you think about this? Should we gender bend this production?
What do you mean?
Should I play Martha and you play George?
I would love to play George because I want to be a fucking dick. That's like my dream.
Well, listen, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We love hearing from you. We are at stayfhomekins@gmail.com.
Oh my gosh, guys, the Gmails are freaking awesome. So thank you.
They are blowing up. We're also Stay of Homekins on Twitter and Instagram. And that's it. We'll be back next week.
I guess we will.
I guess we will. Unless something else breaks.
Stay safe.
Until then.
Stay safe. Stay sane. And stay home.